The notion that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is a complex and controversial idea that has been circulating among certain Christian communities. This concept is rooted in the belief that Satan is actively working to destroy God's creation and undermine the teachings of Jesus Christ. According to this perspective, global warming is not just a natural phenomenon or a consequence of human activities, but a deliberate attempt by Satan to bring about chaos and destruction to the world. Proponents of this idea argue that Satan's primary goal is to lead humanity away from God and towards sin and destruction. By promoting environmental degradation and climate change, Satan is allegedly trying to undermine the biblical mandate to care for and steward the earth. This mandate, found in Genesis 1:28, instructs humanity to be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it. By destroying the planet, Satan is attempting to thwart God's plan for humanity and prevent people from fulfilling their divine purpose. Furthermore, some Christians believe that the emphasis on environmentalism and climate change is a distraction from the true spiritual issues that humanity faces. They argue that Satan is using the environmental movement to shift people's focus away from the gospel and towards worldly concerns. By making people believe that the biggest threat to humanity is climate change, rather than sin and spiritual darkness, Satan is allegedly trying to lead people away from the salvation that can only be found in Jesus Christ. Additionally, some point to the fact that many environmental organizations and climate change activists promote a worldview that is incompatible with Christian values. For example, some environmentalists advocate for population control, abortion, and other practices that are antithetical to Christian teachings. This has led some to conclude that the environmental movement is, in fact, a satanic plot to undermine Christianity and promote a secular, humanistic worldview. However, it is essential to note that this perspective is not universally accepted among Christians. Many Christian denominations and organizations recognize the importance of caring for the environment and addressing climate change as a moral and spiritual issue. They argue that God's command to care for the earth is a fundamental aspect of Christian stewardship and that environmental degradation is a sin that must be addressed. Moreover, the scientific consensus on climate change is clear. Human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, are significantly contributing to the increase in global temperatures. This is not a satanic plot, but rather a consequence of human actions that must be addressed through sustainable practices, renewable energy, and responsible stewardship of the Earth's resources. In conclusion, while the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is a complex and controversial concept, it is essential to approach this topic with a nuanced and balanced perspective. Rather than attributing climate change to a satanic plot, Christians should recognize the importance of caring for the environment as a fundamental aspect of their faith. By promoting sustainable practices, reducing carbon emissions, and advocating for environmental justice, Christians can fulfill their biblical mandate to care for the earth, while also sharing the gospel and promoting the teachings of Jesus Christ. Ultimately, the fight against climate change is not a distraction from the gospel, but rather an opportunity for Christians to demonstrate their love for God and their neighbor by caring for the planet and promoting a more sustainable and equitable world.